Vamos entrar nesse tema palpitante, que é da tecnologia. O interesse do auditório já demonstra isso. A gente percebe que no FEBRABAN TECH esse é o tema que mais chama atenção, até pela repercussão que a gente tem na mídia. É sempre realmente um tema palpitante para especialistas e não especialistas. Mas ser digital first já não é suficiente. Para competir no futuro, o setor financeiro deve se tornar, aspas, infundido em tecnologias emergentes, reimaginando cada aspecto de seus negócios por meio da inteligência artificial, blockchain, computação quântica e por aí vai. As Deep Techs, que são empresas que somam ciência com tecnologia, estão mais próximas das corporações, resolvendo problemas complexos do dia a dia. O mercado financeiro e bancário foi um dos primeiros a se aproximar, investindo em aplicada e que tem resultado em soluções financeiras estão inovando.
As institutions are laying the groundwork for innovation, which technologies have moved beyond mere proof of concept? Which have already entered the radar for developing new products? Where are cross-industry partnerships welcome to leverage future products and services?
To answer these questions, I would like to ask to invite Fabio Napoli.
Seja bem-vindo. Você pode se distribuindo.
Renata Petrovic, he's the head of innovation at Bradesco. Ricardo Contrucci, CTO and partner to Santander Brazil. Thais Franco, CEO at Quasar Space. And Tito Guzmão, founder and CEO at Warren. Thank you so much for being here today so that we can start this discussion around ideas and innovations in the horizon of technologies. And first, I would like to propose a topic in common. Our objective with this panel is to open a window into the future that is already here. So to get started, the emerging technologies, are they moving from proofs of concepts into practices in the Brazilian sector? Renato, please. Okay, hello, good afternoon, everyone. Definitely. We have seen during these 3 days at this event that the financial sector is applying all the emerging technologies existing now. At Bradesco, many of my colleagues have spoken about our AI acceleration journey. We have this background from the start of AI with BIA, and recently we applied Gen AI capacities on BIA with BIA clients, which is available to over 3 million clients as a concierge and interacting with clients, recommending products to clients. We also have Gen AI applications for our own employees with our corporate BIA. We also have BIA Tech as an application, as a Gen AI application for Microsoft, like a co-pilot, which has been helping us in half of our development-related activities using this sort of co-pilot. And we have gained in efficiency when it comes to writing software, and this is a 40% increase. We also have this corporate platform, this AI platform. Internally, this is called Bridge, which allows us to scale and democratize the use of artificial intelligence. So our business areas can also use these capacities. So we can also connect this to different LLMs. And every business area in an autonomous manner can then help itself on this platform so that they can create their own assistants, whether creating automations for document reading or summary creation or information tagging. So this is our implementation journey, and I am responsible for this whole ecosystem of innovation. Well, we'll look at technologies that are really emerging and experiments when it comes to high uncertainty initiatives. So the organization as a whole has the capacity to apply and scale current technologies, but at InnovaBra, and that's why we have a disconnection with deep techs by means of our partnerships with startups and research. For example, we have this partnership with the University of São Paulo, where we developed multiple initiatives together with their labs. We were actually there applying Gen AI, and we were one of the first to do that, so that we could read all the agendas for the meetings of one of our fiscal and financial regulatory agencies in Brazil. And in Novabra, for example, this system is responsible for this whole emerging technologies, helping our bank to have this research aspect of our work. So this means there's a strong connection with deep tech. Innovation is not a role uh, of our own exactly. So this belongs to all. And the rest of the bank also has all the conditions to scale all the technologies available. We have been doing so actually in partnership with technology and business areas. Thank you, Renata. Now, Fabio from Itaú Bank. Itaú considers Gen AI and the adoption of public clouds as an agent for transforming their businesses. How do these initiatives impact the technological infrastructure of your bank? Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. Let's talk about Gen AI first, what we've been doing and how we have been adequating our services. There are two main pillars for us. We have one of the fronts called customer face, which is developed by us so that we can deliver our services to clients. And we have this careful development about what we do. We're actually scaling this little by little, but we already have good solutions for our clients today. One of them is Pix via WhatsApp. The experience is completely different. You can use the same channel, so you were using WhatsApp, and you can also transfer a Pix. So you can speak or you can copy and paste. You don't actually need to open your bank app. And this is a Gen AI engine that is helping you to understand this whole behavior and interaction. So one of the first companies, if maybe we might be even the first one to do that in the world, we have just launched another novelty, which is the investment assistant. And we are democratizing in these important aspects. For example, when you go to the bank, we will receive these assistance in investments, and we wanted to make it available to everyone. We have just launched this service. We're actually piloting this in a more restricted public, this is actually going to move forward to the larger audience. And we still have a long list of things that we want to launch for users in general. And I also want to increase our productivity, of course. There are about 550 cases running inside our bank. And let me give you one of the figures that we find relevant when it comes to productivity. We also have our development stack, the Stack Spot AI, our development stack. This is an in-house development with Zoop, which is one of our companies that we recently acquired 4 years ago, and we increased our software development by 40%. And talking about infrastructure now and cloud, how do they help us? Well, at the end of the day, what we aim is to democratize the use and scale this. When it comes to investment assessment, we can offer this to our clients, and this is very good. When it comes to customer face and everything, and inside our bank, we can gain in productivity, of course. But this is not productivity about what we already do today, but how we can eliminate or change tasks that we used to have in the past. For example, in our cycle for software development for products, maybe they will not remain the same in the future. And that's what we are dealing with. Cloud, of course, is one of our biggest enablers, because it is to no avail to speak about these topics if we do not have this capacity to process everything or execute everything. And the cloud is definitely one of the most fantastic enablers that we have with the data mesh and other things. And this really enable the whole activity so that we can have then now 550 cases in our bank so that we can have these real results when it comes to interface, and we deliver what we want and we run this. Of course, without this cloud foundation that is very solid, I would say we would not be able to do so. Now, Ricardo, over to you about Santander. How does the architecture of Santander adapted to incorporate blockchain and AI? Good afternoon, João and everyone.
Eu acho que não é só a área de tecnologia que está
This is not only about our technology area. Actually, the whole bank is adapting to everything that is going on. And talking about what we have observed during these last years, about 3 years ago,
não vou chamar de comitê, mas
I won't call it a committee, but a group of people actually that is started to think about the emerging technologies and how this could impact our daily routine.
olhamos para diversas
And we looked at different technologies. Many of them are already part of our daily life. Some are still going to become current one day.
a gente resolveu
But during this study, we created an area inside the bank which is responsible for digital assets. And we work with solutions for products, blockchain based products. So we created this area, and this is actually evolving because this is part of our daily routine basically. But talking about AI and how it affects my team and technology,
a gente tem
well,
coisa nova sendo
I do think that there are new things being launched. Some examples have already been mentioned. But talking about architecture specifically, let's talk about how we can deal with this topic with our teams. Well, first, we have adopted this strategy
escolher uma
because it's difficult to choose a single technology when it comes to Gen AI or AI. Every single day there is something new, a new technology. So we have reached this point of trying all the existing technologies so then we can make a
A
decision.
gente escolheu também
Second, we also chose to have a partner so that we could try all these technologies the fastest as possible. Some offer some technologies, others master other technologies, and they are part of our daily routines. They create this proof of concept, and they also help us to develop things so that we can deliver to our internal and external final clients. And when it comes to potentializing this use, and as a global company, as Santander is, we need
de
to standardize this when it comes to data. How can we access data? How we can have this available to everyone?
criou uma área global de dados e AI.
So we also created this at Santander
Como a gente vai
so that we will see how we will
uso das
standardize not only the use of these tools
processa
and also how we will
criados
use this or also maximize the way we use this
de maneira global.
and others that we will create this at a global level and we will translate this into every country's reality.
Muita coisa para
So
fazer,
yes, we do have many things to do
ponteiro para novas direções.
so that we can actually
Do
see
Santander,
what we can do here. So we can also make sure that
a gente esteja
every choice we make, we can be ready for this, not only in Brazil, but everywhere in the world. Well, now with over to you, Tito. Now, since its foundation, Wara has been using emerging technologies such as AI in its investment platform. Being a digitech by design, does it give you good results from the start? Okay, hello everyone. Maybe Warren has this advantage in competition to in comparison to other big players because we do not have any legacy to deal with. We are just 8 years old.
KNAI está lá
Although our CNI, our service code is institutional financial services, we are just a technology service institution actually. And when we break this down into clouds, customer experience, institution, and experience, well, cloud, we are the first broker to have all these systems, including zero core system, in the cloud-based services, which helps us to escalate this. When it comes to customer experience, well,
Uma jornada conversacional
we have this conversational journey, which is simpler, sexier, more pleasant. So from the start, we had this conversational aspect present, and it just started as a binary decision tree, and we added some AI layers to it. For example, I can, by means of my War AI, I can have a different experiences with the Itaú and Santander and other conversational experiences. And this is very important for relationship bankers because our mission for our bankers by using these stupid analogies to transform this into robocops because they will mix both the human and robotic elements.
But it's like bringing many tools to these people. So where the tools are better than humans, especially execution, like portfolio balance, performance for the client. So there's a whole set of functions that machines do better. But when it's like human relationships, like looking in the eye, having conversations, so humans are better at this. So
pode começar a filosofar.
we will still be efficient, machines will still be efficient, but I totally believe that we have to build bankers to protect ourselves from the war against the machines, the Skynet. But this is crucial today, and what do? We surround these people with technology. And at the end of the day, we want to share the cost of serving.
Três, quatro.
But today we have a banker like serving 3 or 4 portfolios at XP. It's what we deliver. And when we speak of efficiency,
IA não é hype mais.
AI is no longer a hype, it's survival.
Eu gosto de usar a analogia.
And I like doing this analogy. Just like a CRM is crucial for a commercial team, commercial teams with CRM are no commercial teams.
De IA para o time de
So AI tools for technology, and whatever they are, we still learn if it's like cursor, mobile, but this right arm
Ele não é mais adjacente.
is no longer like an appendix. It's the guitarist guitar. So they can't play if they don't have that technology instrument. And that's the company's philosophy. All kinds of technology is your right arm producing with the same efficiency.
Obrigado. Bom,
Thank you.
a Thaís está escondidinha aqui pelo
Okay, now I would like to call,
CEO da Quasar.
well, you are COSAC CEO. So the question for you, how does it lead the censoring, remote censoring, and environmentally monitoring through satellite? And how are these technology used in the banking system? Well, thank you. Thank you for the invitation.
O papel da Quasar foi literalmente tirar do
Quasar's role was to remove the technology companies and getting technology that can be applied in the banking system, especially in the financial system. Quasar is in the market as a Brazilian company from space images, and with AI we can estimate 100% remote and automatic all sites and data for different sectors. Within these sectors we can have infrastructure, agribusiness, energy, and so on and so forth. And of course, with these insights, with this data that we can generate for many sectors, we can foster internal actions in the market. We can mention that these insights are for
melhoria em relação
to improve regarding the credit system and risk analysis and even monitoring assets. So Quasar is a company that provides data, and these data can improve and generate insights even for the financial system. Thank you, Thais. Renata, I'm back to you. And the question is, deep tech information and integration, they involve many organizations. From your experience with Innovabra and Bradesco, what's the best model to learn from this partnership? Well, the best model is to have a business use case that is associated to the use of this new technology. So the perspective to use that internally and how that is going to be used. So that is essential for guidance of this research.
O InovaBra,
InovaBra
a missão dentro da
and its mission at Bradesco,
a evolução
we have to ensure the evolution of technological, I would say, promptness of the bank.
do score de TRR,
We use the TRR,
né, ou
technology readiness level,
tecnologia
that one are very immature and emerging technologies. They are still in the lab. So you go through experimentation till you reach
já prontas
uh,
para escala.
that you have all those technologies that are ready to use. And in InovaBra, we work with these technologies of TRL from 1 to 5, 1 to 6, 1 to 7, and we ensure that evolution. How can we evolve this readiness of a technology? We have 4 aspects:
Conhecimento interno,
internal knowledge of all benefits and applications, and the culture about the technology,
parcerias, né,
partnerships
para desenvolvimento,
that we have to develop,
as aplicações
applications,
e também a governança
and governance that you have to establish to put these technologies in place.
das parcerias.
So among partnerships, I mentioned that we have this great partnership with the University of São Paulo and its many labs regarding of innovation to coordinate and develop research.
Ciclo que a gente
So in the latest cycle of research, we've coordinated 4 themes with the University of São Paulo, one of which was using quantum computing
otimização de
to optimize investment portfolios.
testar
We were able to test the use of a quantum algorithm in a quantum computer for this kind of user case.
da tecnologia.
Okay, the maturity of the technology has to evolve a lot, but it's possible to learn, and we will continue with this exploration. Another user case that we had, it's for the extraction of reading of corporate documents and debentures. So how can we extract information, important information, because it takes a while. Analysts takes quite a while to process a report of debentures. So how can we extract the exact information and to have an interesting dashboard with the main piece of information?
Crawler que
So we have a crawler, and we have like data from CVM, and we are bringing that inside to make that into a product for other areas.
iniciativa que a gente fez foi
There is another initiative. It's about deepening knowledge for conversational assistants, that these natural language assistants that most banks use today. So how we can improve the search capacity of disambiguation. So that's another research that we've been conducting and bring internal college. And the last one that's still ongoing, but it's so relevant,
que é a tecnologia
it's
de inteligência artificial
AI intelligence, adversary AI, adversarial machine learning,
a gente está tentando
that we're trying to automate
a segurança dos nossos sistemas
the security of our AI systems. So automate the vulnerabilities and the cyber attacks that it can be used, that we call red team,
também automatizar
but also to automate defense.
como é que os sistemas
How can the system automatically can defend itself?
linha de pesquisa
So this line of research
resultados
must bring very relevant results for our systems and security systems in cyber. So this combination of research and the vision of the business, and for all research that we coordinated, all business areas were involved.
na área de
So we have
IA,
AI,
né, inteligência de dados envolvida.
so data technology involved, so technology that is involved for this kind of defense. So this combination of technologies and businesses
Os melhores
produce the best models. Thank you. Fabio, I'm coming back to you to speak of Itaú's experience. We have more than 400 scientists on that area that encourage universities and experience university. I would like you to bring us like a bird's eye view of what you can do and how can you assemble your whole team of scientists.
Próximo à inovação.
I've been always very close to innovation, and it's a financial company in the market that works similarly with technology.
E a gente tem uma proximidade, acho que uma notícia que também
And we have good news that Itaú has closed a partnership with CMCTI. It's the Itaú Science Technology. It's a partnership of the University of Stanford, the University of São Paulo, and some other federal universities, in which we are fostering and sponsoring studies about Gen AI and other emerging technologies. And the way that we've been using today, especially with Stanford and HI, that it's the lab that focuses on the human side. So how can we develop Gen AI in a self-conscious way? To avoid like taking shelter in a bunker. So we've been working very close that you can bring that not only to Itaú, but to society as a whole.
é algo que
So this awareness is different from bringing this awareness not only for Itaú, but society itself. And there are also other fronts that we've been dealing with, that we've been fostering. So at Kubo, that is the startup hub that we have today, and how we can encourage companies that work with AI. So there is a hub for AI, so how we develop that,
desenvolver as pessoas
how we can train people to work with this kind of technology. So this is the major focus from now on. And the beauty of all that is how we can create a system with data scientists, just like you mentioned, 400 people we have.
dentro da operação
They were created in the operation,
dos negócios. Então,
in the businesses itself. So they understand about the business, they understand how we work with the technology. So when we bring that together, research, whatever comes from university, and Kubo, our innovation hub, and we make this giant wheel turn, we can apply that in a bank and generate and capture value. So that's the beauty. So how we can make everything to connect and talk. It's not an isolated action of the 400 data scientists to have a beautiful name just to show off,
aplicado.
but how we can do that in an applied way and generate something that it's larger, taking advantage of this whole system,
Absurdo.
that I see that a bank has an amazing
Várias indústrias
advantage that they can connect many companies. I'm talking about Kubo, Zoop, that it's the bank's technology company.
falando de universidades
It's first line universities that they have research and development. And again, how we can foster all that and bringing practical results and applicable results for our industry. Excellent. Ricardo, I would like to ask you about Santander's experience. New technologies, technological innovations, how does that affect strategic planning?
Comentei pouco na primeira pergunta.
Well, I mentioned that it affects the bank as a whole.
Gente, quando vai fazer planejamento,
And when we think about strategic planning and we think how a new technology is going to affect the bank, we just don't look what's going to change and if it's an emerging technology. We don't look outside, but we also look inside. And there is this thing how we do the upscaling of our people.
então, é algo que
This is crucial. Everybody should do that and at the same speed, so more and more. So I would like to comment on that.
bom, o ano passado eu liderei a área de
Last year, I was the leader of a training group. So first, it's our company, technology company.
e a gente começou a analisar o
And we
como que
started analyzing how these technologies and would come how we would deal with that.
uma
And we realized that we needed a massification and better penetration on our developers' routine. So we had a track for knowledge. The first moment we thought about cloud, because we thought cloud would be a great base for everything that we're talking and that we will be talking from now on. We don't have any of these emerging technologies working 100% if don't have like some part of that in a cloud. So we have many tracks of knowledge in which actually our purpose was that our firsters could have a certification. So that was very interesting. But we realized that we needed to bring more on practical terms, and that what would lead for each of our first users. So we had an event last year. It's one of a kind. We had a partnership with AWS. We had an event that we call Santander Blaze Experience with 3 days. One of our sites that we have the largest number in technology, and we had 3 intensive days that we have 28 training sessions, keynote speakers, workshops, lectures, and emulations so that these people could try everything that they were learning and just to check if they were ready for certification. That generated, I wouldn't say a commotion, but something similar in a sense that they saw how that could be applied on practical use. And also it showed that that would be part of their everyday basis. It was not a new skill, but the necessary skill. It was a huge success. We had 95% of participation in 3 days, and we had that thing that we like. I want more. So we're having a new edition this year in next September. The Santander Blast Experience 2025. In the first moment, we had only the tech teams. Now we're going to open for all employees. Everybody can participate with many sessions, keynotes, workshops, and emulations for everybody. So for us, the technology strategy goes through people. Yeah, if people are not well trained, if they're not educated, we cannot run any strategy that we want to put in place. Okay, thank you, thank you. So Thais, back to you.
Parcerias entre instituições financeiras.
So partnerships with financial institutions have been shown a great strategy. In your opinion, how can these collaborations be designed, and how can we accelerate in the financial sector?
Well, I think that to answer this question, not only for the financial sector alone, but as traditional companies that acquire new technologies, well, I think that there is no better way than trying these proof of concept by executing POCs or POCs. But the POCs need to be these two-way activities. So I understand that 80% of that will also need to recognize their pains, and also most of these deep techs and startups, and I do not speak this as quasi, but as an investor in companies. I realize that most of them just want to deposit the technology internally inside companies, and they believe that only by pouring out all this technology into their companies, they will solve all the pains of these traditional companies, but that's not the case. So I think that the execution of proofs of concepts in a qualified manner and their execution is that both ways needed to test and validate the results achieved. So now I say that most of the traditional companies, they either outsource these services and do not put emphasis on validation tests for these new technologies, or these companies that propose a new technology, they are not patient enough to understand their clients' their pains. I see this inside of Quasar. There is a specific team for running POCs. Sometimes they are even free. We just run them with our companies. Most of the POCs that we run are actually free, because I understand that once I have this quality POCs with my clients, I will generate new products for the market. And naturally, once I do so, I will have a greater permeability for other sectors, and that's how Quasar participates now in different scenarios across all segments, such as the financial one. Thank you so much. Now, Tito, over to you. You recently mentioned in an interview that the AI in an investment platform is only the tip of the iceberg of the effort made by the company to invest in innovation. The thing is, how do you organize the company so that you can put technology as a strategic premise for your businesses? Well, this is organized in a vertical manner. So there is the CTO, where under this technology structure, there are other areas such as design and products, technology,
Mas ela tem que estar
and these must be a decentralized area in the whole. So they all must derive from the benefits of technology. So, for example, retail and customer experience. How do we organize these things?
na jornada do cliente
We do this by means of their journey on our platform. So there is the first entry, this onboarding.
qual a melhor experiência.
So we try to see how we can provide the least friction so that we can have a better final experience. For example, at our set, 80% of our decision making is automatized when it comes to assets because there is one person dedicated to think about technology all the time, and that's why for all our funds we need to have our benchmarks. That's why we reach the top 5. And moving from assets,
Por exemplo, a gente
let's talk about this platform called Warrior as a Service. So we have this whole technological infrastructure, a very robust one, and this is an API guided platform so that we can deliver our investment service to our partners. And I agree with you
importante que o parceiro tenha velocidade,
that the clients they need to have this proof of concepts, a robust one, and so that you can then launch good products. And instead of just talking about this, what about Lofty? What can you talk about their case? If you access their app nowadays, you can actually rent a property. You can also have these titles from the National Treasury. And behind the scenes, this is all Warren services. And from the POC to deliveries, we were there throughout the process. And that's why we are delivering this experience. And we were the first financial institution that could also had this availability of this public title. So we also have a B3 at the Brazilian stock market here in Brazil. So we had there is tripod technology, our company, and the stock market. So that we have, if you have this Lofty app, you will see that they all run their services based on our technology. And now looking at our institutional businesses,
olha de longe, pode ser
and maybe this might look a bit traditional at first because we're talking about these big executions for these big treasury departments and banks. Of course, we also have these institutional technologies. For example, one has to do with intelligence. Every day, we download the 2 terabytes of data to see all these retail transactions so that we can use this in our expectations related to APCA. So we're going to see, for example, the profile of consumption of fragrances in drugstores. Good. The prices have increased. Okay, so 10% IPCA rate added. So this will project the inflation here in Brazil so that our clients can make a better purchase decisions.
é o grande volume.
And also we have to negotiate this value also related to these 2 rates. And we also talk about, for example,
Sabe que as
for those that already know that we have the orders, they come by means of Bloomberg chats or during the auctions throughout the day.
testes, inclusive para esses leilões eles serem realizados via
So these auctions are also being tested to be run by means of AI-based technologies.
ela tem que estar descentralizada.
And this must be a decentralized technology.
Profissões vão morrer se a
Professions might die off if they do not derive from the benefits. I know that, for example, the product managers were here with us. For those that do not code today, and they will not die out because they are coding, you know. So you need to be tech savvy in this sense, of course.
Aqui eu vou colocar uma questão.
So now I will propose this different question as we approach the end of this panel. And I think that you can also use more of your time because it will synthesize so much what you said. Because there was a man that was actually exceeding his time once he was delivering his talk, and at the end he apologized for delivering such a long talk because he didn't have the chance to prepare a short one. So these concise answers, of course, as you said, this is very good.
Foi rápido e pessoal tecnológico aqui, né?
So you are very technological, as you mentioned in your answer. So the thing is,
Gostei das questões disruptivas.
so what about the disruption? How do banks deal with disruptive experiences and new experiences and interfaces do we expect to see ahead?
Podemos começar nessa direção.
Maybe we can start from you, maybe.
experiência assim, O meu time, se a gente for olhar na
Well, my team, in practice, there are two big clients, internal clients, my CIO team, and our clients, those that access our apps, go to our branches. So we serve them as well. And when it comes to internal experiences for our customers, I mean,
algo que já é realidade,
this is something that is already a reality. It's not the future. We are already the reality, right?
eu acho que se a gente for perguntar
I think that if we ask our developers that work at any of these companies here, one of the things that they least like doing after testing is dealing with obsolescence.
obsoleto,
So there are obsolete languages, things that need to be adjusted, migrating APIs because maybe there we have to decommission some older APIs. So these are recurring activities.
a gente escolheu
Last year, we chose to do that differently.
uma ferramenta
We created this tool, this AI-based tool,
que contém tudo isso que eu falei até.
and it encompasses everything that I mentioned. Partners were helping us. We also escalated our POC. We had our team working on that, and we achieved surprising results.
Ferramenta
So it was based on on a tool that was dealing with the obsolete codes,
dentro do banco
the two largest languages used in a bank, actually.
teve resultados de mais de
And our results achieved like a 90% reduction in cost, 90% accuracy in conversion.
Java e Angular,
We're talking about Angular and Java languages,
tempo
and a reduction in the time of this development step.
essa complexidade
So we would take us 40 hours for this medium complexity step, and now we can do this whole conversion in 7 minutes. $5 is what costs every conversion. So this is nothing in comparison to what we were spending.
toda essa
And
ferramenta
when it comes to the future, this tool has been transformed into something unimaginable. So now we can add other features to it, and they are helpful to our clients. And these are very important ones because these are our developers. So, for example, the
a gente está fazendo
altering our alphanumeric um, taxpayer individual taxpayer identification numbers. So we also do this at a very low cost, a very short time, in a super assertive manner because this is a 90% accuracy rate now.
duro e aí falando pouco
And looking into the future now, let's talk about our customers' experiences,
de hiperpersonalização,
hyper personalization, and
eu vou numa
things like this. Well, I will try to talk about other topics.
quando a gente fala aqui dos três grandes bancos que
When it comes to the three big banks and startups today, well, why do clients nowadays open their apps? Because this is this bank app and not because this is the app that belongs to another bank. Well, because clients have a different view on what experience means. All of us, if we take a cab, what's our payment experience at an Uber or a taxi?
a gente simplesmente sai.
Well, we just leave the taxi or the car. This is payment method experience. This is seamless now. There is no friction. We just leave the car and this is already paid.
Não precisa nem procurar.
We do not even look for a movie now because they are just available according to your taste. It is also true with music. So experience, well, we needed to um, go to a whole new level of experience. And for example, the creation of iPhone. This was one of the biggest advancements nowadays. And of course, maybe the screen will be different because
Qualquer pessoa
we see that all the experiences that people have today, they will need that in the experience that they will have in every communication interface or application they might download. And of course, people will demand from us the very same experience. Paying doesn't mean paying in the best way possible, like we do with the best application possible. No, it means paying like paying an Uber. So we are reaching a point when maybe there might be applications or not in the future.
comento, eu tenho uma filha de 7
My 7-year-old daughter always asks me,
quando eu tiver 12 anos,
Father, when I am 12, will you give me an iPhone? And I said, I do not know if iPhones will exist by then. So we will reach a point that doesn't matter the type of industry or disruption or app. We want to have the same experience throughout the platforms because this is part of our nature now.
Concordo demais
I do agree with you.
da pergunta. Vou falar pouquinho da estratégia.
I will talk about our strategy and how we are dealing with that and how we have been involved in this regard. A while ago, we were creating our products,
Prateleira,
those shelves products.
full banking.
And because we are a full banking service provider, this was enough for us to have our clients that we will be loyal now to this brand. That's what I want. We need to have, for example, real estate credit. We will also have these retirement plans. So maybe because it always the answer because we are a full banking experience.
But you have to check whatever's on your cell phone. So at that moment that somebody needs to hire a certain or buy a certain product, maybe buying a car, well, they're not trying to finance a car. They want to buy a car. And in order to do that, they need credit. If at that moment I do not offer the best product with the best experience to their client, full banking is on their cell phone. They reach another bank, they get a different institution, wherever they can find credit, and they make the purchase instantly. So the greatest shift here is like leaving this model that you have products on the shelf in a full bank and I consume everything to a model that we create the products according to the client's needs. So this example I've just gave you, it's not that financial standard product that it's easier to think, okay, so they need a car and I have an offer of car financing. I don't know if that's what they need. Maybe they have an investment in that bank. So why can't I use that investment as a warrant, as a collateral, and they can have credit instantly in their account to buy the car? Because maybe they don't need the financing. They need credit to buy the car. So I must have the best product that according to that profile and at that moment they need. Because otherwise, just forget it about. Full banking is on the cell phone. Most people have it like they have account in more than one bank. They have access to way more. So we've been working a lot. We check from the integration model, business and technology. We work with modernization, so our platform is 70% new because modernization is eternal. Okay, so once you start, you'll never finish. You went through design, data, AI, and now we are tying everything together. So this has been the strategy to ensure a good experience at that end for the client at the moment they need, coming from the, forgetting that posture like, okay, all the products are on the shelf. And for this model that, okay, so what do you need? So we have it. Renata?
Acho que a experiência é tudo.
I think UX is everything. I think about the competitiveness of financial institutions.
A questão
I see this matter of trust because we talk about principality. So how can I ensure that a client doesn't have just one product with me, that they can do many transactions with me?
a confiança, ela
Trust for me is connected to many aspects.
a confiança de saber que
So trust to know that your transactions are safe. So that's essential for security. The trust that I have that my data is protected and are being used wisely, and especially those that I have consented. And it also has to do, trust has to do with, am I truly having the best option from that institution, the best offer? Like you mentioned, this hyper-personalization. So am I getting the best? Is my data being used to my favor? So collection of this intelligence, is it used for the concept that I actually need and when I need it?
A gente falou aqui de deep tech.
So we've been talking about deep techs and all these emerging technologies. They will collaborate on that sense.
Por exemplo, a
We see, for instance, like quantum computing and how much we can deal with an absurd volume of data, and if they can predict fraud in real time.
tem, claro, o Bradesco adquiriu
Bradesco has acquired an AI company called Kunumi,
e hoje eles trabalham
and they work today with many initiatives of shaping
entender melhor
in order to understand clients' data and what profile they have, what kind of profile of income the client has or that this company has, so that we can read that and return an offer that it's within the context.
na linha da
So along personalization, clients will benefit from.
de novo, falando
And again, speaking of quantum computing,
e aí acho que o colega da Warner
I think our friends here can agree.
está olhando para futuro onde eu vou ter
We're looking at a future in which I'm going to have an individualized portfolio. I can look at my client, I can process everything that is going on in the market,
movimentos de mercado,
the moves in the market, cross-reference with the objectives of that client, and we can manage that portfolio with an individual approach in real time so that they can choose. So I believe, well, this hyper-personalization for me is one of the most relevant things that we could ever see and we can ever foresee, and it will collaborate on this pillar of trust. I was checking the research that was shown this morning about banking technology,
confiança como
and we see trust as one of the main attributes in our sector. So I see that intimately connected.
Tudo bem. Thaís.
Thais?
Perfeito, eu acho que eu vou puxar o gancho em
I'm going to build on hyper-personalization. I think more than data is data reaching the end user at the right moment and in the most assertive way possible.
eu trouxe para cá, acho que 3 exemplos.
And I brought 3 examples of clients because they're not my clients. They are clients of other clients. But when we talk, for example, about the farmer,
Por exemplo,
we're delivering data today to analyze risk for agricultural credit. So we check how the previous harvests were. Is the handling being done correctly? What's the production of climate risk for that purpose? Maybe farmers they don't know about the credit system because they don't have historic data of those indexes. So we deliver data.
de safras menores.
And also for smaller crops, because we are used to seeing analysis of risk for farmers for commodities mostly, but for crops that are most vulnerable to adverse climate events, so how that behaves. So we deliver this data too.
De bastão para
But
investir,
now
que é o meu cliente do
turning to investor, that I call the client of the client.
nossas,
So using our technologies, for instance, of course, using the financial system that we can deliver, how much of their portfolio are susceptible to climate adverse events. And maybe they have lands if they're being invaded and receive warnings about that, or if they have fires and wildfires that are coming close that can harm their portfolio. And also in the insurance sector, we can talk about clients
mais satisfeitos
that are happy because
de análise 100% remota.
through 100% analysis of claims are processed way faster and, of course, impacting and bringing more agility to the final user to have like a refund or to have credit in a faster way.
Literalmente a gente está chegando
So literally, we are coming to a hyper-personalization of products. And of course, this hyper-personalization is attached to a more competitive value in the market and more personalized to the client. So I believe that as we are creating hyper-personalized products, we are hyper-personalizing the cost for the final user. And that's key for all the work that we've been doing.
Obrigado. Tito,
Thank you.
cabe você
So, Tito, now you finish.
Eu vou fazer uma linha do tempo da indústria de
I'll try to create a timeline of investment companies, but it serves so many other industries.
1.0, né?
There was 1.0, 1.0, just the banks with mono products, so just the banking products, and the manager, that he did a little bit of everything.
Mais nerds vai, eu quero
And then the nerds say, okay, I want to invest in a different fund, so you have to open a new account in administrator and send that to Bradesco and so on. There was another one, you send a TED to Itaú. That's how you followed investment with the bank balance sheet and all the information, the reports. And those who were nerds, they would write that down. Then you have 2.0, then we have the brokers. They just open, they have the financial shopping mall with agents focusing on that. So you have your place, your money in one thing, and you bought everything, CDBs, funds, stocks and shares. So it was a great revolution, but still based on the transactional, like you buying and selling. And you have fields of conflicts of interests. What we see as the 3.0, that's this timeline is for many other places, it's service.
Transacional já ficou no passado.
Transactional is a thing of the past now. That's a commodity. We see service to know people, to learn about their objectives, of help that person to build their own objectives. And only then deliver the best solution regarding investment and insurance. So that's a wide view of credit and insurance and with technology. So what people want now, they want to solve their problems. So that's services. And how to deliver that? Again, it's no time for philosophy, but we're about to finish, so I will.
Hoje com o ser humano, né? De novo ele
Again, the human being is at the core, but surrounded by technology. In the near future, somebody will have something like people will have something like this, like a device that can hear our conversation and giving information and summarizing conversation. I think this will be fast. I think in 2 years, everybody will be connected to something of the kind. What's the evolution? Maybe a chip in our brain, and we have to pay for broadband, how many megas I want in my server. Maybe the future of this lecture, we won't have microphones. Okay, I'm just wild thinking. Okay, so nobody's like talking through their thoughts.
vai ter esses utensílios.
So we will have these devices, and this era of services, we're going to have fewer buttons and fewer screens
Experiência.
and more experience.
Porque você falou sobre confiança.
And it's interesting because you mentioned about a trust. So in the investment world, you need to pass on trust. And as being a younger brand, there is a very nice research from FEBRABAN. It's not that old. Says that 80% of Brazilians think that banking agencies, but 80% of the Brazilians don't go to the bank agencies. So okay, so I have my whole life in Bradesco app, but did you know that there is an agency, a physical agency, because there is a problem, I'm going to talk to my manager.
De segurança.
But it's a matter of security.
Mas aí confiança, uma
But again, trust.
IA em algum momento vai passar.
AI somehow will give more trust than a human being? I don't know. We can speak of like, okay, not talking about investment. Let's talk about to our pocket, one of the most important organs. It's good for the health. So if there is a spot on your skin, what do?
Vou no Einstein.
Well, you go to Einstein Hospital, right? Maybe they have like a doctor that is amazing. I'm going to show my spot, and I am safe that he went to the best college, and he will say, well, okay, your case is A, B, and C, and you must have like this procedure. Fine. But what if you take a picture,
E essa foto tem uma.
and that picture has a database of 200 billion images, and with 99% of precision, it says that you have skin cancer stage 1 and you need ABC treatment. So who do you trust more, the machine or the human being? Again, it's just a philosophical question. I want the human being to tell me what the machine told him, and maybe in the future I'm going to remove this middleman that it's a human being.
Mas enfim, voltando ao ponto, é era do
But again, it's service. People want to have their problems solved with screens, with human beings, but fewer screens, with fewer buttons, and more the solution that can come out of thin air, so a headset or maybe a chip that I have. So, okay, so I'm philosophizing too much. Okay, so now we close. Our time is up, but far from finishing this topic, this is an infinite horizon. So it's important to bear in mind what we've had here. So thank you, Ricardo, Fábio, Renata, Thais, Tito. especially to our audience. Thank you very much who are with us in this topic. Thank you. See you soon.